upon an ass and upon a colt, the foal of an ass, unquote. The problems with this are, A, having salvation should have been translated as having been saved, which couldn't apply to Jesus. The Revised Standard Version translated it as victorious, which is also inapplicable. Jesus was neither saved nor victorious. B, this event could not refer to Jesus, since according to prophecy it was to occur at the same time as the restoration of Israel and the establishment of peace and happiness, which have never occurred. C, in the same book, Zechariah 1:16 says, quote, I, that's the Jewish people, am returned to Jerusalem with mercies, unquote, and shows that the entry of the Jews into Jerusalem was the actual subject Zechariah was discussing, not the entry by Jesus 700 years later. Zechariah is merely congratulating his countrymen who are returning to Jerusalem from captivity in Babylon. Zechariah 8:7-8 also shows this, shows it's the Jews, by saying, quote, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, unquote. D, according to Luke 19:35 and Mark 11:7, Jesus made his entry on a colt. No mention is made of an ass. Incidentally, how could anyone ride upon a colt and the foal of an ass? Two animals at the same time. And E, the next verse, Zechariah 9:10 says, quote, He shall speak peace to the heathen, and his dominion shall be from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth, unquote. If this is Jesus, as apologists claim, when did he have dominion stretching anywhere, let alone from sea to sea or to the ends of the earth? And he never brought peace to the heathen. In fact, he clearly stated in Matthew 10:34 that he came not to bring peace, but a sword. 23rd, an important and revealing messianic prophecy is found in Malachi 4:5-6, which says, quote, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, unquote. According to this prophecy, Elijah was to appear before the Messiah arrived. On pages 83-86 in his book entitled The Jew and the Christian Missionary, Gerald Siegel summarizes the problems generated by this prophecy. He states, quote, this is Siegel speaking, some Christian missionary theologians, realizing that Elijah did not appear prior to the coming of Jesus, put off the event described by the prophet Malachi to the alleged second coming of Jesus. Yet according to Matthew 11:13-14, 17:12, and Mark 9:13, Jesus considered Malachi's prophecies concerning Elijah, he's the harbinger, the sign of the Messiah, as completely fulfilled in John the Baptist. For Jesus, Elijah had come in the person of John the Baptist. Jesus did not say Elijah would come in the future. However, his identification of John the Baptist with Elijah is emphatically rejected in John 1:21 by John the Baptist himself. In view of John's emphatic denial of having any connection with Elijah, it becomes obvious that either Jesus or John the Baptist was in error about the role of the latter. If John the Baptist was that prophet, that is Elijah, in any form, then John the Baptist failed to carry out God's commission to Elijah in the person of John the Baptist. The forerunner of the Messiah, Elijah, is expected to usher in an era of perfect peace and harmony between fathers and their children, ending all discord and strife between them. This John the Baptist failed to do. And Jesus explains his own function as the exact opposite. For Jesus said, quote, "Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I came to set man against his father and a daughter against her mother," and so forth, unquote. There is no doubt that Malachi says Elijah is the forerunner of the Messiah. And since Elijah did not come beforehand in the form of John the Baptist, we are compelled to conclude that Jesus couldn't be the Messiah. Unquote, Siegel. In essence, although Jesus said John the Baptist was Elijah, John the Baptist emphatically said he was not. And he did not usher in the era of perfect peace and harmony that was to occur when Elijah arrived. Therefore, since he could not have been the expected Elijah, Jesus could not have been the expected Messiah. 24th, and lastly, in one instance, the New Testament relates an Old Testament messianic prophecy that doesn't even exist. It's pure fantasy. Matthew 2:23 says, quote, He came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene," unquote. Nowhere does the Old Testament say the Messiah would be called a Nazarene.